Everybody, happy Friday. I hope everyone has had an amazing week and your week is about to get so much better because we are so lucky to learn and listen from an amazing woman today, Lindsey Segler. I just want to open up this call and just say I'm so grateful that you're here. And if you are here, I really hope that you came with an open heart and an open mind. If you're invited on this call by someone, what a gift. And we're so happy to have you here. Someone really cared about you and really, knows your story, knows your heart, or sees something in you that thinks that this community and this business opportunity would be a gift in your life, but that you could gift it forward in such a big way. So this is really, we're kicking off on Sunday, a 90-day action plan with 6 top leaders in Isagenix to guide men and women through the business and the income opportunity through Isagenix and referral marketing with our products. And we are so excited to be leading a group of very hungry people who are ready to change their lives physically and financially. Everybody on this call has a different why. They have a different reason, and we're so excited to serve everyone. So really the purpose of this call, and we've been hosting these all week long, is to get to know the leaders that will be leading this movement and training you through the next 90 days, but to hear their stories and to hear what's possible. And I think one of the most amazing things about this business, especially Isagenix and this community, is that everybody has such a different background and their stories are so powerful, and really excited to dive into Lindsey's today. So want to focus on her now. Lindsey has a beautiful story and she's going to get into that, you guys, but her background was corporate finance, very successful in school and then in her corporate job. She's very much a passionate numbers person, very intelligent, and was a happy product user of Isagenix before really diving into the income opportunity. But what I love about Lindsey's story, and I think is going to be more relatable to so many people, is that she had the degree, she had the success, and she had the title, and she was so good at what she did. And it wasn't the money, and she'll get into this, but she had a 6-figure salary base. And she really dove into Isagenix to be able to create more choice in her life, say yes to more things. I mean, she shared a post on social media yesterday. She got flown to Pittsburgh for a special event for a company that she's partnering with Aerie. If you guys know them, the brand Aerie by American Eagle. She's an ambassador for Aerie with her beautiful message on social media alongside of Isagenix. But Lindsey said yesterday in her social media post that with her corporate job, she had 10 vacation days off. And maybe that's you right now, right? And she had to save those special vacation days for upcoming events. And it wasn't this ability to say yes to things and choose things, right? So much of her day and her life and her year was planned out on a calendar dictated by that job. So she took some really bold, brave steps in her life, and she's going to share that story. So as you're listening, you guys, I really encourage this on all of our calls. If someone comes to mind when you hear Lindsey's story, write that name down. We're going to record this call, and we'll upload the recording, send this to someone, because what Lindsey's going to share today is so powerful. And without further ado, Lindsey, take it away.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Ken. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day. I know we are doing this in the middle of the day on a Friday, so I really appreciate you guys joining us for your lunch break. And I'm just excited to share a little bit about my story. Hopefully you guys can get some value, and maybe there are some things that you can relate to that can help you on kind of your journey, or just understanding a little bit more about this, because I think a lot of people might look at some friends that are, going the entrepreneurship route, partner with Isagenix, doing things, and think, okay, that's great for her, but like I could never do that. And I feel like a lot of people say things like that, and I just want you guys to know, like, everyone's journey is so different, and that's what's been really beautiful about having so many different leaders this week share their stories on our vision calls, is that you can see, like, it doesn't matter where you are, it doesn't matter what your background is, like, we all have such different stories, and we've kind of like done this journey our own separate way. So I'm excited for you guys to hear a little bit about my story. So we'll go back to when I was first introduced to Isagenix. Mackenzie and I, of course, Mackenzie is the one who got me started. Her husband and my husband went to college together. So that was we were friends. And I knew that she had this health and wellness business. She was always sharing these beautiful transformation photos. But I really didn't know much about it. So I supported her, but wasn't super interested. I was very like health conscious, runner, kind of doing my own thing. And we were at a friend's wedding, and we all stayed at a house with a group of friends, and she brought her blender and she made a shake in the morning. And I was like, what's that? Like, want to hear all about your smoothie? And it looked great. I tried it. It was good. And then I kind of like went on my merry way. And then a few days later, I was like, you know what? I'm kind of feeling like tired and foggy. And at the time, I was working in corporate finance. So it was super demanding, long hours. We ended up having a lot of like meals at the office kind of catered in. And I was just, it was like stress and energy, and sleeping for me was probably my biggest thing. And then we were planning a wedding. So I really just wanted to like feel my best, look my best. So I reached out and I called her and just said, okay, like tell me a little bit more about, you know, your nutritional rebalancing program. I'm interested. I trust you. Like, let's just order it. So I ordered it right then and tried it. And to be honest, I was a little skeptical just to kind of see, you know, I wasn't really sure what to expect, but I know she had great results. I knew thousands of other people did. So I was open to trying it. So I simply came on just for the products, truly. And I, within 5 days, was just lit up from the inside out. I had never felt the way that I felt. And I was like, oh, like, this is how you're supposed to feel. I kind of was going through life just like, you know, it's such a, like, the culture in the corporate world is like, you know, you have coffee in the morning and coffee in the afternoon and like snacks because we're tired. And like, I just kind of got used to that mentality. And I was like, oh, this is how we're designed to feel. Like, I'm bouncing out of bed with energy. I feel lit up, the inflammation in my face. I was like, this stuff is amazing. Like, I never want to go another day without it. So I was like sold for me. I was like, this is great. My husband started, you know, stealing my smoothies in the morning right away. So I was like 100% on board, loving the products. And then of course, like some of my friends and my family members started noticing right away, and they asked me what I was doing. So I share anything that I love. I'm like always referring like makeup and restaurants and clothes and Amazon links and anything. So to me, I was like, this is great. It's natural. Like, would love to share with you. You're going to love it. And the first few people I helped, my mom and my best friend, you know, they loved it too. And they had amazing results. So I was like, well, this is fun. And then I kind of got intentional about it. And that's what I want you guys to hear from this is like, on paper, I did not have time to take on anything else in my life. I was working 12-hour days, like on a good day. I was marathon training. I was planning a wedding. I had so many things going on that I didn't have time. But at the end of the day, like, I was very intentional about the time that I had. And I, from the very beginning, like, saw as an opportunity. I never really wanted to do what I considered like the business. I was just like, okay, yeah, for sure. I would love to get my products paid for. Like, I'll just start with getting my groceries paid for. If I walked into Whole Foods and they were like, bring 2 friends and your groceries are free this month, of course I would do it. So it's very like normal to me. And then I just became intentional about consistently sharing my journey, you know, plugging in like 15, maybe 30 minutes a day. There was time I couldn't. And like steadily I, you know, started growing a team of like really committed product users who loved the products. They felt great. People in their lives wanted to know what it was doing. And I created, you know, this was my side business. It was my side hustle. And I loved it. And it was super like in alignment with things that I'm passionate about, health and fitness and running, and everyone loved the products. And a few months into my journey, I was invited to an event, and I was an Isogenics like company-wide event, one of our biggest ones of the year. And I was like, you know what, I'm open to it. Let's just see. And I would just say, like, if I could tell you guys one thing, just be open to different opportunities. Like, I went through life, and there's nothing wrong with this. And my background, like, I tell everyone, I loved my education, loved my career. Like, I'm so grateful for all the opportunities I've had. But I got to the point where like my priorities shifted a little bit. So I've always been open. So I was open to going to an event and learning more. And my world was just rocked. You know, I went and I saw a bunch of people who were very like collaborative and wanted the best for each other. And, you know, sometimes in corporate, it's like the structure is very different and it can get like competitive. And at this time I was like in a really, really stressful job. So I will say that, like, the pain points for me with working was like, I always kind of went through the process of like what I was supposed to do, if that makes sense. Like, go to school, get a great degree, get a great job, work hard. I never wanted to let anyone down, you know, and just like kind of follow that path. And then I was introduced to a different way of doing it. So I was like, this is really cool. You know, a lot of people, and I heard stories that I really related to, and people that were creating like impact and purpose and doing things that like lit them up, and they were making their own schedules. And that for me, like, the biggest draw to me to Isagenix was the time freedom. So I didn't necessarily go into it like needing an extra source of income. It was like just a smart thing to do to create a plan B, to create residual income, to have something that I woke up on a Monday morning and I got a paycheck. And it was just like, who wouldn't want to create more wiggle room in their life? And then it became something that I was super intentional about. What can I build with this? So, I would just say, like, coming into this, if you're like, I don't know what this is, I have no idea if this could work for me. If you're looking for more freedom, more flexibility, to pay off some debt, to feel good in your body, to help other people, I really, really encourage you to just, if any of this like speaks to your heart, to just really take a look, because if I couldn't even fathom if I wasn't open to it, and how different my life would be. Because I got to the point where, I was working at like 11 p.m. at night, and I would just come home and I was like a shell of myself. And I found myself being like frustrated at home, like not myself with my husband, like just kind of being tired. And then I had this incredible outlet that gave me like joy and purpose. And I was helping people and getting text message of like, I've never felt this good. My family member has never felt this good. And I was able to pay a bill with this. And I started realizing like so much of the joy I was getting was from not like my career path that I was taking, but it was from somewhere else. And, I was on vacation with my husband, and interestingly enough, at the same time, I got my annual bonus for my corporate job. And then I got just a one-time bonus for just a promotion through Isagenix. The one-time bonus from Isagenix was higher than my annual bonus at my high-paying corporate job. And I just sat there and I was like, how messed up is that? Like, I have this opportunity where there is no limit. I can do whatever I want. If you work hard, you can create whatever you want in this business. And it is work for sure. But like, I've never been scared of hard work. It's just a matter of, is it on your own terms or not? And I was sitting there saying like, so when I first started, it was really just to create flexibility. And then the longer that I was in it, I just realized, I'm going to want freedom for my family. And, my health was taking a little bit of a toll from the stress and having some other issues going on. And I was realizing like, this isn't really going to work for me long term. I don't want to be the mom that doesn't get to see her kids and doesn't come home and, is always at late night meetings. And, in corporate finance, when you're working, I was a senior financial analyst at like a very large globally publicly traded company in corporate financial planning and analysis. So we were like the go-tos for the C-suite. Anytime they need something, you like drop and go. So it's like, you're in a very reactive role. So my time wasn't my own. I would walk in and I'd be like, oh, today's gonna be an easy day. And then at 10 p.m. something would come up and it was like, you had to do it. And I was just envisioning what that would look like if I continued in that career path. And I probably wouldn't be home and I wouldn't have the freedom and the flexibility. So for me, it didn't start as like really wanting to do the business, but then when I saw what was possible with the time flexibility, like that is what hit my heart the most, because I was like, if I can create this now in the pockets of my time and build something that is going to be, a passive asset for me. And I'm a numbers person, right? So when I really started, and I'll be honest with you guys, like I built this, I got a paycheck every single Monday for 2 years before I seriously considered this as like a viable career option. As much as I watched my friends from the very beginning, like I watched them come in and shoot to the top. And I had multiple friends making six figures. I know what's possible, but I think sometimes we all kind of like doubt, is it for me? So I gradually, over 2 years, got paid every single Monday. And then I was like, you know what? I really don't like my job. I have this side hustle that continues to build. Examples like, getting paid more in one bonus with Isagenix than my full-time corporate job. And at the end of the day, like, I worried about stability in my job. Like I was in an industry, I was with a company that used to be the industry leader. And every day we walked in wondering if we were going to have a job soon, but we were being worked to the bone. And like, that doesn't sit well with me. If I work really hard, I want to be rewarded. Like, and then I saw this model where it's like, work smarter, not harder, and literally create a residual income for yourself. So for me, it was like a no-brainer. Okay. So I'm getting a little bit off track on that whole story, but I just want you guys to know, like, if you're sitting here saying, I don't have time, this isn't for me, I just want you to know it absolutely is. I believe in you. Reach out to the person who added you onto this call, because so many of us who got started, like, I think doubt holds people back more than anything else in the world. And like, you absolutely have the tools and the resources, and we are here, and there's so many different stories and people that you can plug people into that we are more than happy to, you know, really assist with that. You know, and in the meantime of like, when I first started Isogenics, and about at the end of last year, so maybe like 6 months ago, I ended up leaving my corporate job to do Isogenics full time. And the freedom that I felt in my schedule is, I mean, I just can't even describe to you when you wake up. Like, I used to tell people, like, Sunday evenings, like, I got that pit in my stomach, and I would just feel like I didn't want to go to work. The emails, I mean, I always had to be I was always available, but like the emails would come, and then you're just like, oh my God, I have to go back. And now, like, this past Sunday, we did one of our kickoff calls, and I couldn't go to sleep. I was so lit up. I was so passionate about what I was doing. And like, I just want everyone to know that there's an option for you to find that in your life and find what it is that lights you up. Because I kind of got to the point where I was going through the motions, and I was in the hamster wheel, and I didn't see an end to it at all. And then I was introduced to this beautiful opportunity that kind of just fell into my lap. But I can imagine if I wouldn't have taken advantage of that, you know, like, to just have that in front of you, to feel better than you've ever felt and help people feel the same way. I mean, this business model is just insane. I'm a numbers person. When you look at the numbers, when I first read it, I was like, there's no way they can pay out this much money. How? But they're just so generous. And at the end of the day, you know, huge companies, they pay up to like 50% of their annual budget goes to like advertising, marketing, shelf space, all this other stuff. So when you think about it from a business model, if you just reallocate that and you reward your loyal customers for sharing with their friends and family, because we value that so much. We do. Like, we trust people, and all we're doing here is like building relationships. Like, it's such a smart business model, and businesses are changing so much. People want flexibility. They want to be able to like spend time with their family. And like I said, like, the landscape is just changing so much. Like, artificial intelligence is replacing jobs. And like, I know a lot of friends that they work really hard, and sometimes they're just like, is my job even going to be there in a year? Like, I don't know. And if you don't take control of that yourself, you really don't have that option. So it's like, have a plan B. We're presenting the tools, the training, the equipment, everything you need to just like have kind of a side income come in, or at least pay for a bill or whatever that would be. You know, sit here and just allow yourself to dream. What would an extra, you know, if you could, like, what amount of money right now in your life would radically impact it? If you had an extra $500 show up in your bank account every Monday, what would that allow you to do? You know, would that allow you to go on trips or pay for a bill, pay off debt, like just have more like breathing room? You know, like, most families would really, really be blessed with $500 a week or a month, or, you know, just getting their groceries paid for, and just knowing that that's possible. And then it can blossom into whatever you want with some hard work. And I do want you guys to know, like, I was very intentional with my conversations and sharing my journey. And like, I had an incredible physical transformation, but it's also really put me on this like personal development journey. And I attribute that completely to Isogenics, of just being, I mean, it truly is like a personal development journey with a compensation plan attached. Like, you get paid for trying to be the best version of yourself, helping other people be the best version of them. And you just like earn as you go, as you learn. You don't have to be perfect, but I just encourage you guys to really be open to it, because if you would have told me that, you know, I was like the most risk adverse person ever. Like, that's why I got a job in finance. The only thing risky I've ever done in my life is when I moved out to California for my then boyfriend, now husband, so it worked. But I moved out there to live with him. And I mean, that's probably the riskiest thing I've ever done up until this point. And it was the best decision I've ever made in my whole life. So now I am so much more comfortable with my journey towards like entrepreneurship, because I feel the support of people around me. And I know that, you know, nothing changes as nothing changes. And if you wake up every day and you're not passionate about what you do, you can change that. And it took me a while to kind of get out of that space, because I think sometimes we just feel stuck, or we feel like we don't have options, but you do. And there are so many things you can do, and just start gradually building this on the side. You know, and no one's saying dive in, quit your day job. Like, I'm not glorifying that at all. Like, I love it for me. And for me, in the corporate role is great. I have a lot of friends who are in the corporate world, and this is just like a side income for them. That's great. When I was looking at what I wanted long time for my future, that I didn't like that visual for me. I just really wanted to be able to like impact people. And I found myself wanting to go to bed at night and just say like, I made a difference today and I inspired someone, I helped someone and they feel better. And that for me right now is like the most important thing. Let me check myself on time. Okay. I think just at the end of the day, you guys, you have the opportunity to really create this life by design if you so choose. So I hope that you recognize that, you know, we all have the time for the things that we want to make time for. And at the end of the day, that's truly what it's all about. You know, I felt the same way about my marathon training, and it's a matter of what you make a priority and what you're open to and what you want to contribute to your life and what you want your life to look like. So I just want you guys to know that whatever you want to do is possible, and we're here to support you. And I never would have envisioned this for myself, right? Like I had a totally different career path, but things change and your why changes, and that's amazing and that's great. And just have an extra option for something that you can do. So I think I'm going to wrap that up. I'll let Kenzie take it from here.
Lindsey, that was so beautiful. And I don't want to take away from anything that you said, but when I opened up the call, I didn't want to edify you too much because I wanted you to be able to share your journey, where you started and where you are now. And I just think everybody on the call is just so moved by your heart and your vision and your belief, not only in yourself and what this could have, you know, what this ended up doing for you and your family and your future family, but, you know, the hearts and the minds on this call that can really feel and understand where you're at, you know, being in a job that didn't feel secure. You know, you hit on the fact that people want flexibility and people want stability. What a scary thought to work your heart out for a company, right? And try to work up that corporate ladder that might not exist in a few years, you know, where now? But you guys, what's so beautiful is that Lindsey was the woman and the friend in my life that I admired and I respected so much. I mean, she was kind of like that gold star in my life. Like I looked up to her so much. And what I think is so beautiful about this business, and I think so often people don't do, is that they look at a Lindsey in their life, right? We all have that Lindsey in our life. Right now, who's your Lindsey? Who's that person who has the biggest heart, who is so passionate about what they do? They work so hard. They really excel. They really, really apply themselves. You know, Lindsey's an amazing friend. She's an amazing daughter. Her amazing mom, Jackie's on the line, who's been her biggest supporter. She's an amazing wife. And when I looked at her, I was like, that's a woman I want in my business, because not only do I know what this could do for her, but I want to be led alongside of her. As a leader, I want her in my business to learn from her and have her lead my team with me. And so I want you to think of who's the Lindsey in your life and write that name down, you guys, and pick up the phone and call them today. Because you have someone in your life that's working so hard, and from the outside, they have it all down. And you know what? Maybe they're giving up a lot. And I know it was Lindsey. She used to do these cute Instagram stories of the elevator closing at her job at 11 p.m. And it might have been cute for a second, but I know in her heart, it was like, that's another dinner I missed with my husband. Another thing I want to share about Lindsey is that she's an elite athlete. So her and her husband ran the Boston Marathon this year. And I think that's been a really cool part of her journey, is that as an athlete, she's used isogenics to fuel that part of her life and heal her body nutritionally. And she's on Team Isogenics. I didn't want to take anything away from her, but I just wanted to edify her in that. So she's a part of our elite program with athletes. So, you know, thinking about your friends who are passionate about wellness, nutrition, you know, finance, numbers. I mean, she was the girl that I wanted to show the compensation plan to, because I knew it was here with Isogenics, but I didn't have the brain to look at it like she did. So I want you guys to have confidence in what's here. And I really want to invite you to really dig deep with us in the next 90 days. But I want you to reach even deeper into your heart. And who are those people that are on your mind right now that says, I want to bring her along with me? And not because of what it's going to do for you and your business, but what it's going to do for someone else, because that's what this industry is about and that's what this business is about. So I think Lindsey was the most perfect heart and person to wrap up these vision calls this week, because I want you to think about who's the Lindsey in your life and reach out to that person. Lindsey's current rank with Isogenics, you guys, is 2-star Golden Circle, 6 months after leaving that job, which is a big, big, big step of bravery and boldness in her confidence in herself and what she honestly wanted and deserved in her life and her family life, which means that she's earning between $56,000 to $100,000 uncapped residually without bonuses. And we know that in Isogenics, you can rank up in a month, in 2 months, in 2 weeks. So that's, remember, uncapped income with Isagenix. So Lindsey, I didn't want to take away from your story, but now that you've shared your story, really celebrate where you are and the leader and the gift that you are to this team. So Lindsey's going to be leading these 90 days alongside these other leaders, and she's going to be such a gift to guiding us and teaching us. So whoever's on your heart and mind right now, you guys, I just want to end it out with, invite them to join this journey, invite them to take a look. You never know, and you never want to make that decision for someone. So Lindsey, we are so grateful for you. We adore you. We love you. Thank you for taking the time to share your story with us. You guys, we're going to record this and we'll drop it down in our business pages. If you have any extra questions that come up, please get back to the person that invited you. And I hope this just sets your heart on fire on this Friday to get to work this weekend and sending out a few more invitations, because we kick off officially Sunday night and we don't want anyone left behind. All right, you guys, have an amazing day.